Hi everyone, Yapi here. I wanted to do a short video, explain a few things. Firstly, considering my previous video, there's some people who complains about it. So I want to explain why it is important to talk about the subject. And I'm just going to read most of it here and afterwards maybe add a few things. What does it matter who is Israel today? I made the previous video because a certain group claims to be Israelites but are not. They use this slide to further their evil agendas and deceive the masses. This is one of the deceptions of this season of deception that had to be exposed. That's why I made the video. People, this is the main reason I made the video. Not because I think only white people are good or are going to be saved or are special or whatever. It's because this is one of the deceptions in this little season of deception. It needs to be exposed because nobody else is doing it. And that's why it needs to be done. Somebody needs to do it. Sadly, no one else wants to do it because maybe they're afraid their channel's going to be blocked. Because these evil people that I'm talking about, they're running the show in the media, in the movies, in every facet of life, basically. Banks, whatever, pharmacy, pharmaceuticals, they're running the show. So it's not easy to talk about them. That's why I also don't mention their name here. I don't want extra issues. But somebody needs to expose them and show these things to the world. And that's why I made the video. So the descendants of Israel has a specific purpose to fulfill. So do we all. We all have purposes to fulfill in life anyway. But as I showed you in my previous videos, or you people, in my previous videos, that there's a specific purpose for the Israel remnant to fulfill. The physical remnants, the physical descendants. And I'm going to give you scriptures to show that that is the case. I give much more scriptures in my previous video. I'll mention this video later on. And I'll probably put it in the description. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says, "Fear Yahweh and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of mankind." This is where your focus should be. All our focus should be on this. So what is this purpose of the physical Israel remnant? Exodus 19 verse 6. So I just want to mention this. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says clearly that we all must focus on Yahweh's commands through faith in Yahushua, of course, as we see in Revelation 14 verse 12 and 12 verse 17. But this is our duty on earth, is to obey Yahweh's commands through faith in Yahushua. That's what we must all do. Doesn't matter if you're Israelite or non-Israelite, doesn't matter. And that's where your focus should be. Exodus 19 verse 6. "And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel." Their purpose is to teach other nations the instructions of Father Yahuwah in this life, but also on the new earth and under the new heavens. This is the special purpose the Israel remnant will have, people. They are going to be teachers. So this is one group that we know what they're going to do. That's all it means. It basically just means that these people will be teachers. And they will teach Yahuwah's instructions. Jeremiah 31 verse 33 talks about them receiving these instructions or these abilities to teach. Because the purpose of a priest is to teach the people. And we see here that Yahuwah wanted a kingdom, a nation of priests. He wanted it from during the first Exodus already, but because those people, they were very rebellious, and they all died in the desert. Their children inherited Canaan. So they didn't become the nation of priests that Yahuwah wanted. But Yahuwah will have His nation of priests. And that is going to fulfill now in the little season of deception, people. This is going to fulfill now. Yahuwah will have His kingdom of priests. He will have His kingdom of teachers who will teach the nations the law. Jeremiah 31:33. "But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, and in those days, says Yahuwah, I will put my law in their minds, This is how they're going to become teachers, people. Yahuwah is going to put His laws in their minds. They don't have to memorize the law or nothing. They'll just know it. And write it on their hearts. And they will have the desire also to obey it as they know it. And I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. So here the people receive the ability to be teachers for Yahuwah and teach His laws to the other nations. There is a book called He Walked the Americas. It talks about the righteous man visiting the tribes in South and North America, teaching them how to be righteous. He did miracles and walked on water. This is a reference to Yahushua that ministered to these tribes during the millennial kingdom. And that's how I understand this book. This is not what the book says. Because I understand the timelines and stuff, I understand when this happened. This book just writes about this man of righteousness, this white man of righteousness, went to the Americas and he did miracles there and walked on water and healed the sick and taught them instructions from Yahuwah or the Creator and set up a priest, something to do with a priestly service and stuff with these tribes. He basically taught them the righteous way to live. Not all these tribes accepted him. In the beginning they did, but later on they rebelled. But I think most of the tribes accepted what he taught them and continued obeying it after he left. Now, well, the amazing thing is that Yahushua, I'll just say it is Yahushua, that he stayed with these different tribes and learned their language first. So he was with each tribe for a while, learned their language, and then started to teach them the truth. And then he'll move on to the next tribe and the next tribe. So he didn't just sit on a throne there for 1,000 years. He went and ministered to these other nations, that's non-Israelite nations. He went and ministered to them all, there in South and North America. Well, probably not them all, but the specific Indian tribes there. He went to minister to them. This is a reference to Yahushua, as I say here, that ministered to these tribes during the millennial kingdom. He didn't just sit on his throne for 1,000 years. He went and taught in other nations the ways of Yahuwah. A premonition, or maybe it's not the right word, a premonition, of what the Israel remnant, is not a premonition, but it is, my English is not so good. I don't think premonition is the right word, but it is a reflection of what basically the future Israel remnant will also do, of what the Israel remnant will also do in the future after they receive the Father's laws in their minds and on their hearts. They will also be then like Yahushua, going to these other nations and teaching them Yahuwah's instructions. They will follow in his footsteps. They will also be teachers like Yahushua. That's amazing. That this is also going to happen with not just one person doing this in Yahushua, but that a whole group of people, a few thousand probably, will also do this in the future. They will become teachers like Yahushua, going to all the nations, teaching them the ways of Yahuwah. This evidently is also what they will do on the new earth under the new heavens. I have a video on the subject, Israel Remnant's Future Purpose. There I give a lot of scriptures, so you can go watch it. You can listen to a reading of He Walked the Americas on YouTube. If you want to buy this book, I checked on Amazon, it's very expensive. I don't know why it's so expensive. Maybe because it's the truth. But you can listen to it for free. The channel is called Unexpected Cosmology. It's Noel Joshua Hatley, the guy whose channel it is. I don't agree with all of Joshua Hatley's views, but this is where you can hear the book. This is where you can listen to the book. This is his channel here, the Unexpected Cosmology. Just type in He Walked the Americas and the videos will come up. There's episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. It says here, was Messiah the white prophet of legend? Fingerprints of Messiah in the West. The search for whatever the pale God. A return to the hidden wilderness. Basically, they asked these different tribes about their traditions, about their beliefs of what their forefathers told them about, things their forefathers taught them or told them. of the past. And this is like a golden thread that goes through a lot of these tribes' stories, is this prophet that visited them, their forefathers in the past, and they'll tell stories of this legend and what this white prophet told and did, told them and did, and yeah, miracles, walking on water and stuff. It's a clear, I believe it's a clear point, clear reference to Yahushua and to the millennial kingdom. This is what he did during the millennial kingdom. We also see in the medallions that he also visited different cities on his flying Mount Zion. Yes, he also did that. And then, if this is the case that Yahushua visited these nations in the Americas to teach them the laws of Yahuwah, it means that the future Israel remnant will do the exact same thing. They will emulate Yahushua. This is a better word, I think, emulate. There are people who say only their race would be saved because only the descendants of Israel can be saved. I know with the white population in South Africa, there is a few people there that believe this. With the black Israelites, they also, a lot of them also believe this. They of course say they are the Israelites, and they also say that only they can get saved, as far as I know. These people don't see the big picture, Yahuwah's ultimate plan. Not knowing that Yahuwah will use Israel to teach the other nations his commands, to be his kingdom of priests according to the order of Yahushua Melchizedek. This is a bigger picture, people, that these people don't seem to recognize or see yet. And that I am teaching is that not just one race is going to get saved. The fact of the matter is this one race with whom Yahuwah makes a covenant is so that they can take this, what they received from Yahuwah, and share it with the other people. That's why they receive it. Not so they can cling to it and run away. No, they must share it with the other people, with the other nations. Purpose of a priest, Leviticus 10 verse 11, and that you may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yahuwah has spoken to them by the hand of Moses. Here I just wanted to show you what is the purpose of a priest. I always thought it was just bringing sacrifices, basically, but actually the main purpose of a priest was to teach the people Yahuwah's laws. Vision of restored future. I wanted to mention this vision before I finish this video. It's of this guy from Canada. Prophetic encounter, the Red Sea Superhighway Kingdom of Acceleration has begun, June 15, 2026. I read it a few days ago, or 2 days ago, I think. Interesting. Go have a read if you want. I'll see if I can leave a link in the description. That's what everybody these days say. So I read the vision last night on the future, where hidden technologies would be introduced, the bad people and institutions will be disbanded and removed, the evil people would be removed, and the leaders chosen by Yahuwah will rule different countries. Things like the banking system and health system will change. Yes, so where does this fit in on the timeline? That's why I mentioned this. Because you do get different people getting dreams or visions of things being restored, things being recovered and restored, and things going hunky-dory, going nice and lacquer. But they don't know really where it fits in, and they get confused, and they think, oh, it's going to happen right now, which it isn't. There's first the storm before the sun shines again. There's the darkness before the daybreak. So there must first be darkness. There's first a dark period now, and then this will happen. I talk about this in one of my previous videos. I'll point to the video now. If people don't understand where we are on the timeline and what lies ahead, they won't understand where visions like this fits in on the timeline. 2 Esdras 7 tells us when this restoration period vision will fulfill. See my video on 2 Esdras 7 called How Much Time Remains After Battle of Gog Magog up to white throne judgment. That is the video's name. I explain how much time is left and what's going to happen during that time. What it says is we have 400 years of peace again, after the battle of Gog of Magog, up to the white throne judgment of all souls. So these visions that these people have, this talks about this 400-year period after the battle of Gog of Magog, when Satan loses and is thrown in hell. I think he's then already thrown in hell directly. But then there would be 400 years of peace again, like basically the millennial kingdom, which was 1,000 years of peace. Although there were a few wars in the beginning of the millennial kingdom. And this time again there will be 400 years of peace. That's when these things will happen, of the restoration of the nations and release of these inventions that they have hidden for a long time now. They even killed a lot of these inventors because they didn't want this knowledge to come out, which is sad, but eventually these inventions will be used or come out. And this is when it's going to happen, after the Gog of Magog battle. And then not just white people fleeing to South Africa. Yes, just to mention that probably not just white people will flee to South Africa in the future. There's already different groups of people there and races of people there. Like for instance, the most South Africa is the country with the most Indians, or second most Indians in the world. India having the most Indians, of course, and then South Africa the second most. So yes, there's a lot of a big Indian population there. So there's different populations. There's blacks, there's different tribes with the blacks, Xhosa, Pedi, Sutus, Zulus, and then yes, and then of course your white people, your coloreds, and they want to be called coloreds. If you think this is a racist word, it's not. Go to South Africa and call a colored black. You see what happens to you. They'll probably stab you. So yeah, different groups of people there. In the future, these people mostly will be white people that flees to South Africa because the war is coming to their countries. That is predominantly white. And that just makes sense then, that mostly white people will flee to South Africa. If war came to these other countries, then maybe more of them will try to flee to a place. But this time around it's going to be all the white nations getting attacked, and that's why mostly white nations will flee to South Africa, or white people. I heard a vision or a dream today also, that the woman talked about the people needing to get passports and stuff that's in America, of the conscription, and that there will come a time where people will not be able to leave America, and that's why they need to get passports and stuff ready if they need to flee. But they actually need to try and leave the country now, because things will suddenly get worse, and then they're stuck. And that if they don't prepare and do certain things, that they will basically end up with nothing, and they will basically flee with their clothes on their backs. And just basically, well, that's my wording there, but that's basically what it came down to, what she was saying, that they will lose everything. And I thought about that's basically what I also said in my previous video. I think that they will be willing to live in white tents on the coastlines in South Africa, which means they had nothing. So that does make sense. Yeah, tough time for the white nations coming up. They are quite prideful at the moment, think they're very special. They will soon learn that that's not the case. That they needed Yahuwah all the time. And that they turned their back on Yahuwah, and they shouldn't have. Yes, hard lesson to learn. But for those who already learned the lesson and who is humble, they're not going through those bad things, and whatever happens to them will be short-lived. will be a very short, difficult time. And our prophet, Nicholas van Rensburg, also said that for those who knows, who is prepared spiritually also, they won't experience it as a difficult time. It won't be as difficult time for them as it is for the unrighteous, for those who worship sports stars and who lives lawless and do whatever they want. They will have it much worse, and a lot of them is going to die anyway. Yes. I think that's it that I wanted to mention here. So yeah, the previous video, I'm not going to remove it because it is important for the people to know who Israel is, for the Israelites, so that they know that those people who call themselves Israelites, they are not. They are the deceivers. And they should stop almost worshipping them and supporting them in their evil actions and genocide. So enjoy your day. Talk again about something else next time. Bye.